Hello, my name is Kelly Long. I'm the Ventura County District 3 Supervisor. Today I have Corey Williams from SBA office to give our constituents some information.
Well, first off, Supervisor Long, I'd like to thank you so very much for allowing me to be here today. Again, my name is Corey Williams. I'm a Public Information Officer with the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance, and we're in town in regard to the wildfires and mudslides, unfortunately, that devastated Ventura County. And one of my job as a public information officer is just to make sure to give information to your constituents, to let them know the programs that are available through FEMA and also through SBA. The big thing that I always want to make sure that we do is to make sure to register no matter what kind of damage that you have. It's always so important, Supervisor Long, to make sure to register. And there's 3 ways to register with FEMA. There's actually the phone number, which is going to be on the board, 1-800-621-FEMA or 621-3362. Also, you can go to the disasterassistance.gov website, which is www.disasterassistance.gov. And also, there's an app for that. So you can download the FEMA app and actually register through the app as well. Now, once you actually do the FEMA process as far as applying for the grant assistance that may be available for your constituents, the one thing that you may be referred to is our SBA Disaster Loan Assistance Program. Now, a lot of people, Supervisor Long, I know is your constituents like, oh, I don't want a loan, However, there's only a certain amount of grant assistance that's available, and the maximum grant threshold for the 2018 fiscal year is actually $34,000. So most Ventura County constituents probably are going to have, that were affected by the mudslides and wildfires are going to probably have more than that amount of damage threshold.
Correct.
So because of that, we want to make sure that just to make sure you have that safety net in place, that the SBA is actually able to offer disaster assistance loans to not only business owners, because a lot of people think SBA is just for businesses, but in times of disaster, we're actually able to help out homeowners, renters, business owners, and even nonprofits. So for our homeowners, we're actually able to offer loans up to $200,000 for the replacement of their real estate, and up to $40,000 for replacement of any personal property, which would include any automobiles as well. So if any of your constituents had any damage to any cars, even if it's minimal, or even for deductibles. A big thing for SBA is that we consider deductibles uninsured losses. So that's very important, especially in California, property values are a little bit higher. So a 1% deductible may be $30,000, and that could be that extra amount of money that you need to do whatever repairs is necessary. So keep it in mind that having that deductible covered and being able to get an SBA loan to cover that amount, to cover that shortfall is very, very important.
Okay.
Also, again, with the $40,000 for the personal property and autos, no matter what damage that you have, keep in mind that the interest rates for home loans is as low as 1.75%. And again, it's a 5-month deferment. So, the one thing with our program, since these are your federal taxpayer dollars at work, you're not immediately having to come in and start repayment. You have time to go ahead and start making the repairs, buy whatever necessary personal property or any kind of vehicle that was lost to replace that. Then after 5 months, when your constituents get back on their feet, then they can start the repayment process. So that's very critical. Also, for the business owners that are your constituents, business owners can actually borrow up to $2 million for any replacement of their physical loss, their inventory, their machinery and equipment. So it's very important that any kind of business owner who was affected by the mudslides and wildfires go ahead and put in an SBA application, but also make sure first to register with FEMA. We want to make sure that we capture everybody who is affected by the mudslides and the wildfires. So the best way to get those numbers is to make sure that every business owner, homeowner, renter who was affected by the mudslides and wildfires will register with FEMA. Another big important aspect that I really want to mention is the economic injury disaster loans. So a lot of times, especially in Ventura County, you may see, okay, well, my inventory wasn't messed up, my roof wasn't messed up, nothing burned or anything like that. But because of other areas that were affected, there may not be as much business circulating, or there may not be as much income or revenue coming in. So how am I going to pay my employees? How am I going to meet my monthly lease obligations? Those are things that a business owner has to look to.
Right.
So with having our economic injury disaster loans, it actually gives your constituents working capital to be able to sustain themselves throughout this recovery period. Now, every disaster, Supervisor Long, is different. Some people, can recover in 30 days, some in 60. But in times like this, we may not see a full recovery for a year or two. So being able to have the economic injury disaster loan program to be able to have that working capital to sustain that business is so vital for our, for us as an agency to sustain that.
And I'm being told that you should sign up, no matter if you know you're going to use the loan or not.
Exactly.
Because you can't sign up later on. You need to sign up now. Is that true?
That is true. So the deadline actually to apply is March 15th for the physical loss. So it's a 60-day deadline. But now for the economic injury, that's actually a 9-month deadline. So the business owners still have plenty of time to be able to assess their damage, not only through the 30 or 60-day period, but in months 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, which are critical for business recovery.
So if I am a farmer and I lost my house, I would make sure I register with you in FEMA, so SBA and FEMA, and I would also register with USDA for my crops and so forth.
That is correct. I'm glad you mentioned that point, Supervisor Long. So if your primary residence is on a foreign property, that is eligible for SBA disaster assistance. Okay. But any of the farm-related income, such as like the crops and any kind of farm equipment, that's where you would go through your USDA local rep.
Okay, and then if I work on a farm that was lost. I heard also that I can get an employment pay for the disaster, and how would I do that?
Outstanding. So outstanding question, Supervisor Long. Through FEMA, once you actually register with FEMA disaster assistance, there's what's called disaster unemployment assistance that's available not only for maybe those farmers that were impacted, but also any small business owners that were impacted as well. That's why it's so critical to be able to register with FEMA, because as a small business owners are also eligible for that disaster unemployment assistance.
Okay, and then I was on the conference call that we've been having, and they talked about the Recovery Center. Could you hit that?
Yes, so our Recovery Center is actually located in Ventura. It's actually at the Ventura County Credit Union, and that's 2662, I think it's San Diego Street.
It's at the Ventura County Credit Center in Ventura.
In Ventura, yes.
Yes, in Ventura. And anyone is able to go in and find out more information in person, is that correct?
Yes, and we strongly recommend that everybody go to visit the Disaster Recovery Center, because it's your one-stop shop. There will probably be resources for the disaster and employment. There'll be FEMA representatives. SBA customer service representatives. So it's kind of like your one-stop shop for everything that you need.
Right, and I want to advise people, so you can go to www.venturacountyrecovers.org for all the links to this information as well, if we haven't covered anything today. I know you have a short amount of time, you're a busy man. So thank you so much for stopping by today, and I really appreciate all the support that our state and federal is giving us.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Long, for having me. And if there's any questions that you have, please feel free to contact our SBA customer service number, which is 1-800-659-2955. Or you can go to our website, www.sba.gov/ELA.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Long. Thank you.